move that introduces the last segment of the program. Thank you. This morning conversation, we're turning the spotlight on governance, national policy, national politics, issues shaping Liberia's direction. The guest is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, Montserrat County Senator, the all-known Abraham Dillon. He'll be joining us to provide an insight into the first quarter of the break of the third section of the 55th legislature and to help us understand what progress has been made so far. We'll also examine matter of growing national concern on this program. Senator Dillon, Montserrat County Senator, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, and it's good to be home, so to speak, on Radio Bourgeois 98.1. And I want to thank God for the upgrade of the station. I understand that we are covering a lot of counties, including Bassa, Bon, Lofa, Magibi, Rosas, Bomi, Kidma, Bapolo, parts of Lofa. That's a good thing.
I think you have a map of transmission in your head.
And I want to say good morning to listeners of Radio Bourgeois across the country and those following online. I'm happy to be here. God is good.
Thank you so much, and we would like to say welcome. And now, you just ended the session of the quarter, a whole quarter, folded out a whole quarter for the Senate, the House of Elders. And you are a leader of the Senate. So will you give us a rundown of what you may point to as achievements over the course of your sitting?
Well, normally, the country and everybody is basically aware, and it's like a recitation that the function of the legislature is lawmaking, oversight,
right,
and representation. So we believe we did a lot in those three directions, and I'm speaking as Senate, not only as senator.
Okay.
We passed the budget. We passed some laws. We did some oversight. We hope that it can be even more robust and effective. And we believe we did our best in terms of representation. Apart from the budget, the Senate passed the bill to act and establish a PRC into law. Many people may not know that since 1978, the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company has not had any act of the legislature establishing that entity that gave statutory structure and authority to LPRC. Since 1978, there has been no law passed that gave power or authority to any president to appoint anybody at LPRC. And since 1978, all of these things have been going on. So part of the agenda for the rescue mission is to help to reform some of these government institutions. The legislature, the Senate also passed on the statute of limitation bill. Of course, I submitted that bill, like I did with the LPRC bill. Statute of limitation is a key thing in the fight against corruption, to serve as deterrent and to save the country from public abuse, especially economic abuse and any other crime that is committed, especially felony. Currently, the statute of limitation law says, so I'd like to break it down because I know we'll have a conversational, discussion here. I'm Senator Dillon, and I managed to steal from government, from the people. Say corruption. Say Dillon stole for $1 million. And since he's in the office, he somehow managed to suppress the information from coming out. And after 5 years, even if the information leaks, and Dillon still has that $1 million, or even if he didn't have it, the law says after 5 years, once the government has not commenced, investigation, prosecution, after 5 years, you can't do anything to Dawes Dillon again. If Dillon brutalized somebody, because aggravated assault is a second-degree felony. Any kind of felony, second degree, third degree, once it's after 5 years, you can't do anything to the person who committed that crime. Especially our focus has been on economic-related crimes. How we abuse public office for what people normally call personal gains. So I submitted a bill for us to increase the statute of limitation from 5 years to 15 years. But there's a meat that we added in that amendment that is not in the current law from 1972.
And what is it?
That the government will have, my proposal was that the government will have 15 years to do investigation and prosecution from the time the information came out that you committed the crime. Now when you actually committed the crime. So for instance, I'm 30 years old. I'm senator. I abused my office. And I managed to get away with some sum of money, the people money. I suppressed the information. My tenure ended. I go on with the money. I benefited from it. And I turned 60 years, even as a former senator. When I turned 60 years old, and that information comes out at the age of 60, that means that 30 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. The day the information comes up and the evidence is available to prosecute me, that 15 years period opens from that time. So what we call it in the law, we call it from the date of discovery. Now when the crime was committed. So I committed the crime, for instance, at the age of 30. They discovered it when I was 60 years old. From the date they discovered that I committed that crime when I was 30 years old, the government has 15 years window. But we debated the issue in the Senate, and the Senate generally agreed that while my bill made sense, 15 years too long too, because government has all the resources and time, and you know, to gather evidence and all that stuff. So instead of 15 years, it would make sense to make it 10 years. Then there was a new argument, so it was extended by 2 years, meaning government has 7 years. From the day, the time
the information
leaked out and the evidence is available. That bill, that law, we have engrossed it to the House of Representatives, and we hope the Senate is looking to the House for concurrence.
So how does that contrast the status of limitation that we have now?
So the current statute of limitation allows for 5 years.
Right.
And this is going to be 7 years.
And this is going to be 7 years plus because when the crime was committed would not matter in the amendment.
But when
it was discovered.
Yeah.
When it was discovered, the current law does not have when it was discovered.
Right.
The current law is blank on it.
So quickly, what are you doing with your colleagues in the lower house to sort of turn that into an act?
Yeah, it makes sense to a lot of lawmakers in the lower house, and we look forward to when we return on our regular second quarter in May. We will be looking to the House, and we'll be making effort for the House to concur. We also did the Ivanhoe. We also did the Ivanhoe concession. We also did Aslam meter concession.
And Ivanhoe, what how much is that?
Ivanhoe is about 1.8 billion concession. Ivanhoe is not an iron ore mining company. Ivanhoe is more like a logistics company. Ivanhoe is contracted by a company mining ore in Guinea to transport their ore from Guinea to Liberia through the port of Buchanan. So Ivanhoe is not in competition for iron ore mining and all that stuff, mineral in Liberia. It's just conveying mineral or iron ore from Guinea
from one point to
another. And then we will also that concession will help to expand our rail system. Many countries around the world, people using air, land, sea, land including rail. After Ivanhoe contract is over, the rail, extended rail,
becomes a
national asset. It can be used for commercial transportation as well.
Right.
And you know all that stuff. Now, and it will create job.
Right.
Job opportunities.
There I was going. Right?
Yeah.
I know it may not be in your purview.
Right.
The executive probably works on that part.
Right.
When does it become tangibly jobs? People want to hear that. People are excited about this whole job situation. As far as you know, how is it related to providing jobs soon?
As soon as the contract takes hold. In fact, from the day the president approved the ratification action of the legislature, that concession agreement starts to become binding. There's recruitment because they will do I think 23 kilometers of road from the border of Guinea, where the iron ore is coming from Guinea.
Right.
Because where the iron ore is in part of Guinea, they will ship it by road for 2-3 years while they're doing the rail, what we call train track. So from Nima bordering Guinea, the point to bring it to where the train track is in Yekepa, the car road they will use by truck. They will pave that road. In the pavement of the road, that job creation right there. There will be contracts, there will be contractors to do the road.
And that will ease movement also.
They will ease movement. Then, during the construction of the rail, of the train track, It's also job creation.
Mm.
And then they will be renting trucks and all that stuff. It's also job creation. The only thing, and without anybody thinking, is political. When we pass these concession agreements, we know that these concession agreements will create jobs.
And that was bringing me to my question. As much as there's a buzz, we hearing about job creation and what have you, but the creation of the job comes with the requirement of specific skills.
Yes.
To ensure the effectuation of the operations of these concessionaires.
Correct.
You're talking about the operation of locomotives and what have you. What is the government thinking about providing skills and providing the necessary skill set to young Liberians, so that they take charge of the operations of those machines?
So you, under this administration, part of the arrest agenda, under the rescue mission, we have deliberately, under the leadership of President Joseph Nima Boakai, we have decided to make technical vocational education a thing of relevance, because these kind of skills build country, not politics. So we have honored President Boakai. The Senate has concurred with the House of Representatives on establishing the TVET Commission. We have established a whole TVET Commission. I understand that it is not yet verified, but I understand the President vetoed the bill, the law, because he has some concerns that which we may address one over time. But it is within the vision of the arrest agenda to do technical and vocational skills and education career as something more relevant, so that people can be, so the job market can absorb them. And meanwhile, if you follow the current Minister of Youth and Sports, I think at the MVTC, they've taken some actions to reduce some cost burden requirements on students
to promote retention,
to promote encourage more people into technical and vocational career, so that they can be able to be absorbed in the job market, especially in the concession areas.
Well, good. So to wrap up from the Senate's end, I mean, I know it's lengthy discussion, but the seaport decentralization,
right.
You know, did you feel failed in that?
No. So, in fact, just before we closed last week, the Senate again passed the seaport bill.
But why are you going back and forth with it, by the way?
So the question is, I mean, people see you as the forerunner or one of the forerunners of this port decentralization bill. But the argument is, I mean, decentralization generally is viewed as a way of promoting devolution of power. But one would argue, what is the economic benefit to the country when you decentralize the port?
Decentralization is good. You can even decongest, especially Montserrat County. The port bill is good for the country. These ports have been operating like the way they are for the last 50, 60 years. The thing about us in Liberia generally, every good idea or every vision is good to all Liberians. The problem we always have is they think good boy not timely. That is why we never reach that time. We never take the risk. We never want to start what is good, but deem not to be timely. It is only timely when you started from somewhere.
And you think now is the time?
Of course. In fact, there's not a better time than now. The port bill was politicized, understandably, but the visionaries of the bill did not lose focus, because it is part of the agenda of decentralization. We just abolished, under the vision of this government led by President Boakai and the Senate led by Yombi Kanga Lawrence, and with all of us there, We just abolished the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Right.
And established the Ministry of Local Government so it can conform to the Local Government Act, which talks about decentralization of power, and so that development can reach the people from where they are. The port bill is to empower and develop the various ports in the country and future ports. It also talks about future inland port. Inland, people understand the inland port that drop where there's no sea, right? Yeah, and they have it in other countries. It's visionary. The port of Harper should not report to the port of Buchanan. The port of Buchanan should not report to the port of Greenville or Monrovia. They can simply coordinate. The port of Monrovia should not control all of the ports across the country with centralized power in Monrovia. If the port of Harper wants a controller, the port of Harper should be able to recruit a controller from Maryland. Not necessarily a Marylander, but even if it is a Marylander who is qualified. If the port of Greenville wants needs a manager, the president of Liberia can appoint a citizen of that country or a resident of that country knowledgeable in port management.
And this is where some people are saying this is the slippery point of this whole argument, that this is a unitary state, not a federal state, but they view some of the projection of this whole port act as being, bearing the complexion of federal nature, because if you highlighting the need of the recruitment entirely of a manager for the county rather than providing opportunity for Liberians across the country, people will say it's more about protecting a particular interest rather than the general national interest.
So you can also recruit Romeo Togba to go to head the port of Maryland, even though you are not from Maryland. But what it would do, it would take Romeo Togba from Monrovia. It would decongest Monrovia. You can take, in fact, it's also integration. Look, development of those counties, everywhere around the world where you have port city, the port alone is an asset for development in those counties. If the ports start to gain their own autonomy, and it's not federal form of stuff, because you have a regulatory body that will regulate all of the ports. But each of the port will have its own management and not reporting to one port reporting to another port. One port should not be reporting to another port. All of the ports should be under one authority, one regulatory authority, and not one centralized authority from one county.
So you have a referee, and they all are players.
Exactly.
So where are we with it? What can we expect?
So the Senate passed it. The House will hopefully concur when we return, and I can bet not on arrogance, but on knowledge of what I know, that the president will approve it. I say so because when the president has vetoed the port bill once.
Okay.
But propagandists against the bill, some don't even know the intent and purpose and benefit
of the veto.
No, not only that, of the decentralization. People who are anti gave bad publicity to good intent and good motive and good action.
And what have you done to offset the bad publicity?
Don't listen to it. The visionaries of the bill will not bad publicity. We have a duty to inform and clarify. The president vetoed the bill once. People made the public believe that the president vetoed the bill twice. Okay, the president vetoed the bill once. But what did the president say in his veto communication? The president said, I'm returning this bill because I have concerns on these areas in the bill. I'm asking the legislature to reconsider my concerns and send it back for my approval, because this idea, this decentralization idea and vision is within my vision for decentralization, is within my vision, my agenda for decentralization. It is contained expressly, black and white, in the president's letter. But the propagandists against the bill did not want the public to see or know about that. What they did was they only took the last page of a 5-page document, letter, with the president's signature on it. Because when you outline all the things you have concern about, they'll close the last paragraph or closing sentence and say, having said that, or wherefore in view of the foregoing. Yeah, so they took that last page where the president said, I am vetoing, and I need to do a bit of education here. Not for you, but for some of us who don't understand politics. The president can veto a whole bill.
Right.
Or the president can veto lines in the bill.
Does he have to state reason for doing
Yes. Once the president vetoes either the whole bill or part portion of the bill, the president is under obligation to state why.
Okay.
Because no president can yet get us say, I veto that bill. It's not sufficient. It doesn't hold legally. So the president letter said, you'll reconsider these few sessions. What were some of the sessions? One, the board of the regulatory bodies, they are too large. You reduce the number, right? The title of the bill is conflicting, is suggesting two things. You correct it. And another count. Any person with common sense will not conclude that the president won the law entirely. The president said, y'all look at this, and y'all reduce the number of persons that's ought to be on each of the boards, and y'all adjust the title of the law so it can fit properly, and y'all send it back to me. And two, there are some authorities that will be assigned in the law. They are already assigned to like maritime and other entities. So it can conflict. You reconsider,
Okay.
So we did that. We did the reconsideration.
Right.
And there's one or two that we adjusted, and we gave reason for the adjustment.
And this time you were sure.
And this time we are very certain that the president will approve.
Now, you're listening to Liberia in the Morning on Radio Bushel 98.1 FM. And the last segment of this program today is today's conversation. And coincidentally, the board chair of the radio station is there. That's why you saw him talk about signal and, the coverage and what county. He has a lot of information as far as the operation of the radio station is concerned.
He's a board member. He's feet on the ground.
Chair of the board, as a matter of
chair of the board. So, Mr. Senator,
and we also did the people fought contract to construct roads in the Western Cluster
from Brownsville to Waterside.
Exactly.
And when does that kick off?
It should kick off very soon.
People on the side of Liberia will be eager to know the time.
And the thing about the legislature, one day, I'm planning with you and Josh and the station so that we can have a conversation in the afternoon. Not got you question, but the everyday common sense things, since civics is not yet in school, so we can help. The thing about the legislature is, and it is almost like that everywhere. I was watching CNN last night, and I saw that the approval rating of Congress is as low as 30%. But America is at war, but Congress gonna break too. when we were going on break, the people who always comparing us to America, they said, why were we issue at the Guinea border and we go on break? And you understand? Now I'm not trying to make any equivalent poor equivalent comparison here. The legislature in Liberia has a very poor rating by perception and by pure lack of understanding. So
what is responsible?
Ourselves. Thankfully, the legislature is open. Maybe it's not as open as we wanted. The light I put on in there, even though some people say a dim or a shining there or that. The country at least has interest in knowing what's happening in there. Say, for instance, what I want to say here is, if the legislature pass the budget or agree to approve payment for yellow machine, the executive cannot have yellow machine. Right?
Yes, correct.
So we pass budget, we agree for the yellow machine. The yellow machine comes, the whole country praising the executive. They don't see that the legislature play their role to approve payment.
So you celebrate the end product.
So
Well, maybe because you're a policy making body and you're not into action as you will be executing.
So
who knows?
And the legislature will pass law to tighten the fight against drug. The legislature has passed law. Everybody know the role of the legislature is lawmaking. We not made a law. To enforce that law, if the executive is not enforcing or implementing the law, they blame the lawmakers. You understand? All I'm saying, the legislature has bad publicity by perception, because some people don't understand actually the role of the legislature. And also, I say all, and also we as a legislative body, we are not very strong and robust on our side. And
that's a perennial problem.
Yeah, so even if you want to hold a cabinet minister accountable, you can sack him as a lawmaker. Or even if we took a vote, that does not sack that minister. But if the minister is performing poorly, the public blames the legislature and not the president for not sacking that person.
Right.
You understand? Yeah, go ahead.
So we really actually need to transition to other issues.
Yeah, so
no, we can extend the time. I had a boat here. When I go places and I extend the time, I can pay for the airtime.
Okay.
It's only fair enough, even if I'm using our own airtime. Right. Once we extend the time,
right,
we'll pay for the airtime.
I think it's something to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Senator, bringing you back to your quest to improve on the statute of limitation from 5 years to 7 years, big news, and is hopefully seen as a catalyst in the fight against waste, fraud, and abuse of state resources, in my view. Right. But as you do this, what is your current impression of the fight against corruption, especially being led by the institution charged with nipping corruption in the bud, the LCC?
Look, under the circumstances, I think the LCC is 80%.
You gave them 80?
Yeah. And the 20%...
Emerited 80?
Yes. And I speak from the background, not from sentiment. Not from quote-unquote partisan mandate or feelings. I speak from informed background. I was at Justice Ministry for 11 years. 9 out of those 11 years, I was special assistant to the Solicitor General of Liberia. The Solicitor General of Liberia and the office of the Solicitor General is more like the law firm of the government. We prosecuted treason, we prosecuted murder, we prosecuted economic sabotage, we prosecuted theft of property, we prosecuted simple aggravated assault, we prosecuted all levels and degrees of crimes. What I learned from my time at the Ministry of Justice in the prosecutorial arm of the government was that feelings and sentiments don't win cases. You don't go to the court and say, I feel that a man did anything. No. Feelings and sentiment or partisan mandate don't win cases. It is good evidence proven beyond reasonable doubt that can win criminal cases.
And you think the LSCC has that?
The LSCC has to be meticulous.
Okay.
Before it indicts somebody. Not because the LSCC feels that a person did something. The LSCC must be able to prove that this person did something. The 20% that I did not give the LSCC is because it is my view that they can take too long on some cases, investigating some cases. I also understand from my experience that some investigations can take time. A part of the 20% that I did not give the LSCC is that after your investigation, even if it took 1 month, as speedy as 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, once you know that your investigation proved that this person did not do what they were alleged of doing, clear the person. Because when you accuse the person, it was public. When your investigation show proof that the person is not involved, don't hold the clearance. Don't be afraid of public backlash for doing the right thing.
And I think it's integrity enough.
It's integrity enough to say, I accuse this person, I investigated the person, the allegation against the person is not true, we're clearing them. Because somebody in the future and the character is involved here. And at this point in time, it should not be about feelings toward who. Criminal prosecution does not matter who you like or dislike. Criminal prosecution, a successful criminal prosecution, is based on good evidence, proven beyond reasonable doubt. Look, if a dead body is found in my yard this morning, I'm the first suspect. Especially my yard is fenced in. I'm the first suspect. The general perception, the wild perception will be that Dillon know boy or Dillon kill. But then you found out that last night I slept in Bon County. Now you see I have an alibi. I slept in Bon County. Just by my sleeping in Bon County, or I said that I slept in Bon County is not sufficient. Where did I sleep? Who saw me? In Bon County. When did the person die or was killed? In my yard. When did somebody see me in Bon County? And just because I was in Bon County too, does not suggest that I know about it, by facilitating and using my being Bon County as the alibi. So then, criminal investigation will have to go beyond, because the body is found in my yard, but I'm in Bon County. So it's not possible for myself to have committed the act. But maybe I facilitated it, maybe I sponsored it, and I went to Bon County to remove myself as an alibi. The criminal investigators will have to go beyond. Oh, Dillon was not in Montserrat last night. You were not in last night when a person died or was killed in a yard, so that Dillon is not involved. It's not sufficient. The criminal investigation must go beyond now to investigate further. How did the person enter Dillon's yard? How did it die? Who did it? Then when you get the who did it, then you go beyond asking, extracting out of that person in a reasonable way, what a Dillon, what a that murder or that death was sponsored and by whom. Once you clear all of those down, even though the body was found in Dillon yard, Dillon know about it. But bar in Liberia, nobody, some people already, you guilty already. So if the police does that kind of criminal, deep investigation and still prove that Dillon was not in Monrovia, Dillon investigation proved that Dillon did not sponsor it. Dillon know anything about it. Yeah, witnesses to prove that Dillon, or say for instance, I slept in a hotel. the hotel, manifest can prove that I slept there. I took breakfast there. All that kind of thing. The investigation will clear me. But the public who have already judged me guilty will not believe or respect the outcome of that investigation. But just because public will not respect the outcome of that investigation does not mean you must not state it as the investigative body to say, we've done XYZ, we've proven XYZ, and Dillon is innocent. You understand? So my 20% that I took from the LCC is the delay in clearing people, and also the delay in taking people to court. Because prosecution is not only about convicting people. You see, justice is not only about guilty verdict. Justice is about affording due process so that I will accuse you. I can have my day in court to present my evidence to prove that you're guilty, and you too can have your day in court to prove that you are not guilty. But because you got to present your witnesses, you got to testify in your own defense, and that kind of hearing, consistent with law, the ruling, the judgment therefrom could say Romeo is not guilty. That's justice. But in Liberia, prosecution means one that person is not guilty, then something wrong with the prosecution. And that's why I said feelings can win criminal cases. Sentiment towards somebody or something don't win criminal cases.
Feelings, sentiment,
and I want to include party mandate to go after somebody does not win criminal cases. It is evidence, good evidence proven beyond reasonable doubt.
So you are listening
to
criminal case FM Radio Bushel, and this is Liberia in the Morning. As a matter of fact, we are extending this edition for public interest. Senator Abraham Dillon is in studio as our first discussant on today's conversation as a segment of the program, and we still have a lot to go. We want to concentrate on his role as senator. As a matter of fact, you in Monserrato elected him and sent him up Capitol Hill. And has he gone concentrating on national agenda and letting go his constituent obligations? You know, we're going to be talking about that. At the same time, we're going to be talking about the Liberty Party, his political
Sure.
and then probably other national issues. But as it is right now, we're going to have to give you some time, listeners, to sort of
can we go up to 11?
Yeah, we can do. We
Well.
just need to consult the management, but I think it's a good deal for the management.
Tell me the boys requesting.
So, Mr. Senator, the society is buffeted by this news, this disquiet, emotional trauma, and what have you, with the situation along the border. I mean, people say the government is a bit stunted with information, but there could be an argument that, considering the security nature, you cannot divulge everything. But you, Chairman on Foreign Relations, and maybe your role as a chairman will rein in on your colleagues in the Mana River Basin in exhausting the appropriate mechanism to ensure maybe backdoor diplomacy, how this quiet can be dealt with, and that the situation cannot escalate beyond its current nature. What is the role of the Senate in all of this? What are you doing? How are you viewing the situation in the first place?
So the foreign policy of our country and foreign affairs of our country is run by the executive, led by the president, and the chief lieutenant for that is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We in the legislature, especially the committee I'm honored and privileged to chair, the Foreign Affairs Committee, the third ranking committee in the Senate, provide oversight. And that places us even way on the leadership of the country. We are guided by certain maturity, not to just speak on certain critical issues. But what I can say, as not only as senator but as chairman of foreign affairs, the good wisdom of the president of Liberia and the Senate led by the pro-tem Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, we have engaged sufficiently and we are continuing to engage diplomatically to resolve this issue. And maybe it may be too much to give us credit that one Liberian or Guinean has not died as a result of what's happening at the border for over 1 month. It is only to the glory of God first and the good leadership, wisdom, and maturity of the president and the leadership of this country. But some people, for politics, don't see that. There are many ways, and there are some ways one can show strength without having to fight. Many ways one can win a battle or a fight without fighting the way people want us to fight. There's tension that's de-escalating at the border. We are engaging in the Mano River Union Basin with ECOWAS, with AU, and the global community. To the extent of our engagement is the reason you see the huge de-escalation of what's happening at the border. This matter will be resolved. Not one soul will be lost. And whatever trespassing of whichever territory that was done, especially off our territory as far as everything is concerned, everything will revert, return to status quo ante. Meaning, everybody will go back to where they originally were before this thing happened. But on good leadership wisdom, when the government is not reckless in talking about what's going over there, it's because we're using wisdom and maturity. People say, oh, maybe we scared of Guinea and maybe someone. Look, even a Guinea get all the war power, it will go to war. Guinean soldier will die, Guinean citizens will die. Liberian soldier will die, Liberian citizens will die. Do we want that? Or do we want to proceed in a way that none of the two countries will lose a citizen, whether soldier or civilian? That's to the extent I can respond to this matter.
So, Senator, I mean, this is smart enough. Your response is smart. But you see, we're in an Iraq. The communication in Iraq is so robust. So if you don't talk,
somebody will talk.
Right. People will talk, people will think.
Yeah.
Especially when this is about audienceship, it's about big show. What do you have on social media and everything else? The thing is, this much assurance, Liberians have been looking up to that. You're working behind the scene, understandably. But what is it? Now you just gave some hope that nothing gonna happen. It's cool. It's gonna be all restored and everything fine, right? What else can we do when we're working behind the scene and not communicating? What do we leave the public?
We are communicating. It's just that some people don't want the communication we are giving up. They want to see how many people with war tanks at the border. They want us to take the mark. And you said something just within the same. Look, we, generally us, Liberians, we are so politically polarized and hyper in the country that even a radio program that is educative or educational will tune for the political topic.
Yeah, sure.
If you gave your online in the morning, 7 o'clock news, 7:30 will rumble over the issues. 8 o'clock, there will be people here talking about rehabilitation. Everybody will tune to another station where the political topic is. Yeah. If your topic is 9 o'clock and it's about talking about people with disability, people who tune to the station that are talking the politics. And we have developed the tendency in our country where even if you do a podcast, civilized, probably informative, you get 1 or 2 or 10 person watching you. But let somebody open another podcast and they're doing the hash talk, cause man, cause a sensational thing. Everybody go in there.
Yeah, sure.
Now there's something they cause. And until we work on that thing, it will be so. But you see, as a government, in the Senate, as a senator, third-ranking official in the Senate, chairman on foreign affairs, serving Montserrat County, and the Senate under the leadership of Nyombi Kanga Lawrence, and the country under the presidency of Joseph Numa Boaka, will do it with wisdom and maturity and responsibility. That not so. Imagine the day the Guineans cross over to our land. Imagine we put our soil people to the border also.
And marshaled in there.
And by the sentiment feeding of the people, oh, y'all listen, y'all sit down, they put it over our land. Imagine we put soil people now. Soil people are disciplined people. But when other people come in with aggression and you send your people there with not for aggression, but to mind your space, the other people see it as confrontation. They'll start firing. Then the same people who want us to show strength will say, Joseph Numa Boaka here, and they care our people to the no, we're not giving them that talking point. The talking point we're disarming them of is we are winning at that border, but not as we want it as peer, but also not as the other side wants it. They want chaos. They want death. They want blood spill. We will not do it. Guinea will go back.
So could you say
Guinea will go back from what I know, from where I sit in the leadership of the country. And the discussions and engagements we have had. Guinea will go back. You see, when Guinea goes back, finally, there will be no soul loss, there will be no blood spill. And the same people, some of them, if they have conscience and courage, they will thank the government for the manner that we handle this matter.
So Liberia, under President Boaka, intentionally did that respond to Guinea as Guinea came. Say military men and gunmen are at border, they're crossing over, and so Liberia could counteract with military officials. Rather, no.
To think that we are not
Was a strategy.
of course, to think we are not manning our border at all, it's an illusion. But we are manning our border with wisdom. So we send police people there. So the military man sees policeman, he's not angry. But the police presence will give assurance to our citizens, civilians, that we are here. Then we equip our immigration people, right? Because immigration is at the border point, right? Fine. So in the other people's mind, that de-escalation. We are not confrontational.
No.
We are mature. And that's why one bullet have not killed anybody from other side. And those who are waiting for the escalation of this thing for the sake of politics and not country's interest, you will wait for a long time. In fact, you will wait till you tire.
So, Rubio, could we go specifically to the function of Senator, his presence in Montserrat, his constituent? Where are you, sir? Are you taken over by national issues and leaving your ground empty?
No, my ground is not empty.
You're staying tight.
Yes.
Right. What feedback do you get?
It's mixed. Look, anybody who in a political office like mine, you don't have mixed feedback. Check yourself.
Do these make symptoms get you jittered and feel a bit pensive that my days may be numbered?
No. And is that arrogant? Any community of people in Monterey County who are displeased with Senator Dillon as the senator, in line with my function, I'm worried. Any community of people or individual who is not happy with me on personal issue, that personal issue must make sense to me before it bothers me.
Senator, you are a social person.
Yes.
You got serious social touch.
Yes.
What do you feel?
Chief,
When it was and now?
before you come in office, everybody love you. Those who supporting you, everybody love you. When you're in that office, you will lose on this.
So if you were to do a survey on your popularity,
Yeah.
you still got it hitting, you think?
Put me in election. It's just simple. Put me in election. Do I know that some people who voted for me, they are not happy? Yes. Okay, so let's look at some of the reasons.
Why didn't happen? Right.
Let's look at some of the reasons. So some people who put me in office, they put me in office in 2020, believing that my popularity and my support base will help their candidate to become president. Say for instance, ANC. ANC put out with me. Not because I'm not performing as senator. Okay? And I gotta be bothered when you lose base. Or you losing the base on account of your failure to do your job. It should be more worrisome. So if you put me in office because I should support your candidate too, then you did not believe in my function as a lawmaker. You are only tapping on my popularity for your candidate. Okay? There are some people understandably. Now you see, when we politicians talk, the whole thing I talking here today for almost 2 hours, the one coming to that I wanted was Cora. And I know that one. And you see the micro, and you see the camera there, there plenty. I invited the king, plenty. All the things I'm talking, then get time the one coming to that I wanted was Cora. If you ask me for personal assistance, and I get it to do it, for which reason you felt, I can understand that. If you ask me and I give you 1 time, 2 times, the 3rd time you can't get to you, then you start costing me. That's your business. If I lose that person, to hell with them. All the camera, your cut this part, say they don't cost any people again. Because politicians are tend to slave. You can't even voice yourself. They say lawmakers got lawmaking, oversight, and representation functions. But what can move most lawmakers from in office? That the full function that is not written, humanitarian. Yeah, so I can understand that.
So Monserrata actually has been challenged by the Weah youth, understandably the highest population in that country. And you represent that. One of the interventions you make is the drug stagnation thing. And visibly you see the number is reducing on the streets. And we're going to actually talk about that sometime this week or probably next week to see the impact, but you make that intervention as well. As a matter of fact, it's an institution. What feedback do you get from that?
So before I answer that aspect, let's come back to that very discussion we have first.
What is that?
There are some people who are not happy. They say the Dillon who voted for, they're not here again.
Okay, yeah.
So I was opposition. And I was robust. Also, I'm not opposition again. I have access to the table where we make decisions for the country. I can be opposition to my own government.
But you still fight for national interest.
Of course. So, when I decide to ask for domestic debt list under my own government, I was losing base from under my own government for doing my work. The thing they elected me for and they were happy about when we were in opposition. You know what I'm saying? Domestic debt, 80 million. We pass budget, 80 million. Mr. Samuel to a Minister of Finance. Who will paying every year 64 million? Where the list? Who are we paying? All in opposition clap. Yeah, Dillon is demanding accountability. Then we take over a rescue government, and Weah Camara is Minister of Finance, and the president sent an operational budget of 41 million, and there's 5 million projected to pay domestic debt. And I say, where is the domestic debt list for the 5 million? Then my own base now getting vexed. Where you want proof? You understand? And you see how developed people can make us either be inconsistent or forced to be inconsistent because we must be in our office. I'm not like that. I demanded domestic debt list from my own government, and they produce it. That $41 million, one of the things we champion in the Senate, and nobody can take that record, and no arrogance about it, but we take humble pride in it, is to put us on record voting. I think since Liberia was founded, it is under this generation. If it happened before, it was way before the cool Dream Tower or Tottenham time. But on our new dispensation, we entered the Senate and took that reform for us to vote on the record on crucial issues. Nobody can deny their vote on any crucial issue because the record will vote yes or no, or abstain or absent, and it's recorded. I voted no on Joseph Nima Boaga's first budget because they didn't give us domestic debt list. I voted no on George. We had 3 budgets in protest of domestic debt list. Then my own government gave domestic debt list, a domestic debt projection. I wanted the list. When I voted no, I lost on base. Not from opposition, from my own base. Because the thing they were clapping for me for yesterday, it is our time now to prove the difference. Then they say, what do I want to prove? You understand? So, all I'm saying, at the legislature, it got to take grace of God and courage. So the president nominated some people in tenure jobs where people were serving tenure and their tenure are not in it. Right? It took courage to say, no, we can't confirm these people in violation of the tenure law. So the standard will not encourage that. And we stood our ground. Some people resigned, some people tenure ended, and those the president wanted them, want a legal vacancy were created. Then we went to proceed with the confirmation proceeding. You think some of those people in my own government happen? No, I will lose some base. So I can understand. The thing I must not lose is my conscience. Now, to your question.
Yeah.
Look, when we campaign to bring this government, our government to power, one of the things that the Liberian people could not wait to elect Joseph Boaga and our government was the fight against drug. We are not there yet. I'm not too sure we are even 40% close to fighting drug. But nobody can tell us that the drug issue in our country is the same or worse 3 years into this government. It's not. It is not. You don't see people falling down or in the street. You don't see people walking in the street drugged up.
The population is reducing.
The population, you know why? Because we have made it so challenging to even gain access to it. Now, even the people who are selling it.
So it's worth investigating. Where are the young people?
Fine, I'm coming.
Are they being recovered?
I'm coming, sir. In order to get a young people in the street, they must have access to the thing. We have made it difficult to get it the way the people used to just get it at anyhow. Even the person who go and buy from the drug dealer ain't even sure what the agent got. That's how difficult it is to have access to it. That is why you see the population is reducing and it's not increasing. I may not have a scientific data.
It's something to really investigate. Yeah.
So, the thing is visible. You don't see drug people or young people all falling down in the street. You don't see people, the population is not increasing. And there may not be a data that can prove it, but physically you can see. Every now and then, with little resources, every now and then you see the DEA, apprehending, confiscating, exposing. So, before anybody bring drug in the country, it must slip through a crack. It's not as pervasive and rampant as it used to be. When we took over under Joseph Nima Boaka, the Senate under the pro tem, the entire legislature, the government as a whole, we took DEA budget from under $2 million to about 4 million, 3 to 4 million, to help to begin the process of recruitment of personnel and training of manpower and procurement of logistics. Same with fire service. When we took over, fire service budget was under 2 million. We took it to 4 million deliberately in 2024 to 2 million deliberately for fire service to train more people and procure firefighting equipment. So now you see that the drug-related issue is declining. Now, what we have not done on a long-term policy, holistic scale as a government, is the rehabilitation aspect of those who are already affected. But the government is taking some actions. I, as a senator of Montserrat County, I made it a signature legacy project to rehabilitate people from my salary and goodwill sponsorship from friends of Dillon who believe in that project. And so for the last 4 years, so to speak, for the last 4 years, the rehab center has been running. We have graduated. Would you proceed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. We have graduated more than 230 persons from the Center for Rehabilitation and Reintegration. The first 4 batches were all male. The last 3 batches, all female. Currently, the 8th batch of people in there, they are all female. From here today, I'm going to visit the new batch that is there. Since they entered the last 2-3 weeks, I haven't gone there to see them. So I'm going there to pay my first visit with this current batch.
So what do you notice when they leave? Are they okay? Like all of the people you've graduated, your center has graduated, are they okay? Or relapsing in some cases?
So all of the 200 plus people we have graduated, my understanding is 3 or 4 have gone into relapse. So the positive outcome, the rate is very, very high. Very, very high. All of the 230 some more persons that have passed through the rehab center, 3 or 4 have gone into relapse. One of which we have brought back. One of the kids who graduated from the rehab center is in Nigeria. The parents sent photo that he playing football training with the Nigerian under 20 team. Another grandparent called on the class reloaded that after her grandchild got rehabilitated from drugs through the center, they sent for the child. She called on live radio on class reloaded to say thank you. And the child, her grandson, is now okay, and he's with her in New Jersey, in America. Okay. We have another that is in India through their parent going to college. We have one who was with one of these banks, and at high levels, and went into drug. We went to the rehab center. We rehabilitated the person. Today, the person is a consultant at the Ministry of Education.
Excellent.
And you ask the police director, Gregory Coleman, and he listening, they know exactly who I'm talking about. God, I'm one of his classmates who they graduated together. And another lady, and several of them. We can go on naming.
Right.
And so, that place takes $3,000 of my monthly salary every month. Since 2021, you get 3,000.
So
every month. I'm going 3,000 every month. Times 12.
That's right.
Times 4. The 3,000 times 12 is 3,000 a month. Times 12 months in a year.
36,000.
Times 4 years. Since 2021. Then you can know how much of my salary I take back. And that place has 18, I don't call them employees, 18 volunteers that we get honorarium monthly to. Yeah, So apart from the rehab center, apart from rehabilitating people, that place is a source of livelihood, provides livelihood for. If you providing livelihood as infinitesimal or small as it may be, each person in there that has a family also,
Now, those are good stories. Helping people to turn the positive corner and rewrite their life stories and revive them. But
one of the girls works in the office of the pro tem. There's another boy from Kakata who came to give his testimony that as a result of his rehabilitation from the rehab center, even though he was an electronics technician before, he went into drugs. After he got cleaned up, he went back in his trade. He now running his business center. And when he was coming for the last graduation to give his testimony, he boastfully said, and which is true, that he left his employees at his business center. He's now an employer. Thanks to the rehab center. And you can go on and on. And people come from Bond County, all over Monserrado County, from Grand Bassa County, from Magidi. If I'm even running for political office, I'm not running Bond County. I don't intend to run Grand Bassa. There is no election mine on me for Magidi County, but that rehab center is catering. And in fact, one of your professional colleagues, a media journalist, Ishmael Josiah, went into drugs from Grand Bassa County. They brought him at the center and will kill him.
Yeah, I watched that video.
You watched that video, right? And also, Ishmael Josiah says, for curing him from drug, his services, his thank you for the rehab center is to be the public relations officer of the rehab center free.
Okay, so we will want to talk.
So we're touching lives, but people.
Right. Yeah. And actually, we're going to put a spotlight on rehabilitation, especially when we talk to the youth minister, knowing her agenda. There is this man, United Methodist pastor, Caleb Dumba, has done significant work in that field. So we'll blend all those forces to really see what has changed. And that's what the program is intended for. This is Liberia in the Morning, an extended version. And we're talking to Monserrado County Senator Abraham Dillon. He's here as our first guest here on this program. So we are actually going to squeeze you in for some exchanges at 10:45. But as it is, we can transition between the Senate
and the Liberty Party.
So there, I wanted to go to ask for the President pro tempore. She leads the Senate, and visibly, the Senate is for sure the elder of the legislature. What is the strategy? That's not common, right? A political theater of that kind usually experiences a lot of hauling pools, a lot of tension. Don't they argue? Don't they differ? What are they unanimous in this way? Sir, what is the strategy?
The Senate has 30 persons,
right?
27 men, 3 women. One of the 3 women is the leader of the Senate, Nyombi Kanga Lawrence. And since 2024, you don't hear about noise. I'm talking about the kind of thing that happens in the House of Representatives. You don't hear it in the Senate. Amara Conner, Edwin Snow, and McGill, and Prince Moy, and Daba Vapla, one of the female, including Bodo Kane, another female, and most of the male in the Senate. When you hear them speak of Nyombi Kanga Lawrence, they say, thank you, Madam Pro Tem, for your leadership over the Senate to manage the ego of 27 men of different political persuasions and manage and to get along with your fellow female, to have us work here together, even from different political persuasions. It takes consultative leadership. It takes grace. What a Pro Tem does is to get all of us to consult. Everybody is free. It's at liberty to hold his or her thought or her grounds. But in order to hold your thought or your ground on an issue, sometimes it's good to understand the issue. Because sometimes the ground you're holding on or against something is because you don't understand that thing. If you have an open mind and you understand the thing, there's a very likelihood that you can come along. So the Pro Tem will meet with senators on almost every crucial issue and explain the agenda of the government toward that particular issue. And leave it to our judgments and consciences in the interest of the country to go decide. And of course, in the legislature, people do lobby. You have to persuade. She's very persuasive. You know, when one woman gets men to sign a resolution to empower the executive to establish for the establishment of a war crimes code, something that has eluded this country for over 20 years plus. It took conservative leadership of Nyombi Kanga Lawrence to get men and women to sign that. The same we do with almost every action. If you are Senator SYZ from opposition with extreme view against the government, and you have a communication in the interest of your people, your county, or you believe that we as government, we are proceeding otherwise, and you wrote that communication to bring the attention of the Senate to that issue, she will use leadership to put it on the floor. Nobody feels Stafford in the Senate. How we handle the conclusive handling of each of these issues matter the way leadership is. And kudos to Nyombi Kanga Lawrence. If you can manage the Senate, trust me, you can manage the country.
The Senate may not be fair state as the House of Representatives, but it's still politically engaging.
Of course, it is politically engaging. There are times, look, you not those of you who follow the Senate, we do some joking, sometimes annoying to our people, but we'll go across the aisle. This man has a view, and I have a different view. We engage, even sometimes during session, to persuade.
Will you consider her as a political consensus builder?
In fact, you could not have put it more aptly. A political consensus builder is one who consults and wins everybody on, or at least majority to see it. Not only as they see it, for other views to see it the same, and then you go along. And Nyombi Kanga Lawrence has that grace.
Now, let's talk about your party, the Liberty Party. I mean, we all know that there was news of division, long-term leadership quagmire. At one stage, it was called the Young List faction, then the Musa Ability faction. Musa has gone his way with the CNC. You now have what you consider a united Liberty Party. Even as it backs in this when phrase United Liberty Party, people are questioning the state of health of your party. What can you say about your party and its political health?
Liberty Party is united and we are building. Very united and we are building. We have had a series of programs where the public, the media, everybody has seen everybody who are fighting one another in the party back together on the same platform, hugging, shaking hands, organizing, and attending almost every program of the party. But every day when we come up, people can ask whether we're united or divided. No, we are not. It is the wish of some people that the party will not unite. What we went through as a party, what we brought upon ourselves as a party, we decided that nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Let's move ahead. When you go to reconciliation, if nobody can get Lawrence leadership over the Senate, people with diverse political views, and she can hold the Senate together for the country. And nobody, all of us together, can reconcile Liberty Party from a very bitter, divisive fight. And Liberty Party is whole again. It should say something about the leadership of the woman. So Liberty Party is back together. Liberty Party is restructuring. Liberty Party is rebranding. There are people who want to see us on the radio every day in the name of Liberty Party and being harsh toward government or in favor or praising in favor of government. We are more concerned about rebuilding. We are restructuring. About 2 months ago, we restructured Monserrato County. We have restructured the county leadership in Grand Bassa. We are undergoing the restructuring of the party in Madibi, in Roses. We are now extending to Bonk. We're going to Lofa Nima. We are moving. When we fully restructure the party, and when it is time for political electoral season, then people will know, yeah, that Liberty Party has been doing groundwork.
Now, as you reach out to those bases, as you touch base with your people, what are they telling you? Are they in the state of despondence? Are they hopeful that Liberty Party is a strong political institution?
Of course, our people are hopeful. Look, Liberty Party was established to govern this country on our 4 pillars, 4 pillar platform. Now, the founding father of the party is no longer alive. Peace be to the ashes. But there's a legacy here. Liberty Party will govern this country someday. To show some difference. Are we in political terms now? We think no. Are we rebuilding? Yes. Do our partisans have hope? Yes. How do we know? We know from the support, the attendance when we hold programs, when we call executive committee meetings, when everything, people are hopeful and supportive when you hold in program and you see the voluntary tenure and all that kind of stuff. The partisans are hopeful. The partisans were hurt both ways, especially going into the 2023 elections. We who were at the top that did not stop their hurts, we have the obligation to heal it, put the party back together under one leadership. Both sides come together. I think Liberty Party is the only party, I could be wrong, that have gone so deep, division, fighting one another, and reconcile as a whole, without people having to form their own independent party. The moment there was confusion in CDC some time ago, they gave birth to ANC.
But you have CMC, which is a product of a former chairman.
No, it's not a product. The former chairman resigned already. He knew his time was up. The hold he had over the party, the legal paper he had, he knew it was time to give it. And we respect him. He's gone. We are building. We are moving forward. We don't want to look back. That is why in our reconciliation to reconcile our party, we deliberately decided that nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Even though those of us who stood by the political leader and support the rescue government, we were felt victorious. We don't feel victorious over our partisans who were on the other side. We too play some role that caused them to do what they did. They play some role that caused them to do what we did. Nobody is right. Nobody is wrong. We'll move ahead. Nobody feels entitled to Liberty Party, the Reconciled Liberty Party. And thanks to Nobly Kanga Lawrence for providing that kind of leadership.
Okay, so very shortly we're going to be inviting your comments, your concerns on the cross-section of issues we discussed today. And it's 3 minutes from now we're going to be doing that. So get yourself set. 077-1981-981. And we have in studio Senator Abraham Dillon, who is the Foreign Affairs Committee Chair of the Liberian Senate, Senator Moserado County Rescue Team lawmaker. And you can put your concerns. We've discussed a couple of things, including we've discussed a couple of concerns. Right. We discussed a couple of concerns from national security situation, especially across along the Guinea border, the Weah terrain, the government's intervention. What specifically has the government done? Yeah, I think we can begin even picking the calls. Okay, let's pick this person. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, the person is gone. Now, Senator, very common is always asked. I follow that couple of hosts, journalists have asked this question. No, let's just hold this person and let's hold this person quickly. Where are you with 2029? You're going to face election in Moserado County and the same polling centers, the same county constituents.
Why you always asking me about 2029?
You see too much done in preparation for 2029.
You see Romeo, you not lay back. All they got in fit the camera now. All they do with all they got no talking point or whatever. Look, you see when you in office, by the time you start thinking about your next election, you lose it already. You are a failure when you're in the office and your concern is about your next election.
But it's realistic. This is 2026.
So since 2024, people been asking me if I'm running in 2029. I'm in office 2024. We have a government to run. We have delivered to make to our people as a government. Then people asking, 2029 you running? So then 2025, the same question. Then 2026, as we begin here, the same question will perpetuate. But let me answer this way. If you see somebody themselves, male or woman, who themselves, not using people to slip their name as talking point, who themselves say, I'm running for senator in Moserado County, then you should ask me if I'm running.
You've not had somebody come up.
You're in the media. I threw it back there. You know, hearing about with their own mouth say I'm running in Moserado County in 2029. I don't have competitors. Then who they are asking me, you running? Who are running against?
Well, it's true out there. No competitor. Is that true?
I'm talking about people who will say, I think the person is running, or they pass through their children then to say they do opinion poll, which result they don't publish in the end. I'm talking about any candidate, any person who themselves say, I'm running in Moserado County 2029. And then the competition open. But since 2024, I'm coming in Romeo. Since 2024, by the time we started the rescue government, by the time I entered studio, 2029 you're running, I have work to do. I'm in the seat. I have a government to run to assist the government we made or created to succeed. And when we start thinking about our next election, we start losing focus of what we're supposed to be doing. So you're in the media, they dare your former competitor, they ask me if I'm running, yeah? They dare somebody with their own mouth say I'm running. Then we know that we're talking. But who they are me asking me if I'm running? Who running against me?
Okay, here's a caller on the line. Good morning.
Senator Dillon, my name is Senator Abraham.
Oh, Mr. Manager, yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks to Senator Dillon for being the first guest on the program. The person of business owners are very excited about the business of the program after. Yeah, so
I'm having a network. When the speaker.
We're speaking about the strength of the Senate leadership, but I just wanted to give a brief description of the Senate as a body. Prior to you taking over as Senator of Maserati County, you described the Senate as being spineless. So I want you to tell the public now, what is your real assessment of the Senate performance, especially when it comes to check and balance the current Senate?
Thank you, sir. Let's pick another person.
That is taking money your call. You know what? I'm I have.
Good morning.
I like that.
Good morning.
I'm somebody that the secretary of Weah Radio to read a part man the other places in the country. However, when we commend the almost senator for his right to consideration of critical national issues, let me be honest with you, at no point in time, most of our country possess the most educated percentage of our country that will sit there and just elect any kind of movement or biocracy over to whatever they are below. If you look at the world police statistics for all social media platforms, you will realize that whatever they are below is leading the commerce, the distance from those they get from to us. So I'm asking you not to ask that question. The senator is focusing on his work now, and I believe that he's doing extremely well, and with both this, with undeniable conscience.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Another person here, we'll take that person and then we'll seek response. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and what do you call from, sir?
Thank you. So, this is Pastor David.
Okay.
So, the senator will never respond to your question, and I want to believe.
I mean, I only have one question you see now.
No. The only reason why you're not responding.
That's the reason why you said.
Because we know exactly what he has done to this country. It's on record. I mean, one of the callers asked a very salient question. He said the legislature at the time was funded, especially the Senate. He also said the economy of the country at the time was in a falling. The judge was incompetent because the laws of the country was in broken. He said they were using the resources of the country recklessly. Use the all today. There's a brother drive a convoy that walked more than 1.2 million. Yes, Senator Dillon.
So what's the concern, sir?
I know just one more.
What's the concern?
This is the concern I'm raising. So,
Yeah, so you could wrap it up. You could just give her a nutshell, and then we don't have the time. Sorry.
I know. So I just want to end up by saying it's better you tell the people now what they tend to do than to meet the disgrace that will before you in 2029. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You also can call us on 07719819881. We're actually wrapping up. I've got less than 10 minutes to go. We've been here talking to Senator Abraham Dillon, and he's responded to a couple of issues. But here is it. Senator, there is a need for a comparative analysis right now. What the Senate was when you say spineless to why it is now. Does it have spine now?
Yes,
Or the legislature?
the Senate is growing some spine.
Okay.
When we from the rescue mission,
but has it grown the spine completely? Is it grown?
I said we're growing spine.
Okay, progressive.
When you as pro tem from the ruling government,
Right.
in fact, you champion and cheered the ruling government into being.
Right.
If you can say, Mr. President, this Senate will not confirm or hold confirmation hearing for certain tenure officials because we have issue with the tenure law, that's fine. That's fine. When you can, in your government, get men and women to initial and sign a resolution for the establishment of the World Crimes Court that eluded all the legislature since 2006. That's fine. That's fine. You want me to go on? Of course I can go on.
So, you heard Senator Dillon, you know, there are things that the legislature must do, you know, by law, by function. And the legislature, particularly the Senate, doing that. So he thinks the Senate today is different from what it was yesterday. Let's squeeze in this person, and then we're going to be moving up to wrap up the person left the line. Now, that's it.
So I can respond to my son, Pascal David.
Right.
Pascal David, you know, I don't like to bring, but Pascal David is a citizen. Senator over the country 2019, Pascal didn't stay trauma. They stay in trauma. And 2019, when I took over Pascal David, all the radio, they said they made mistake. 2020, they will correct it. 2020, I corrected them for correcting me. There is no, but George Weah was on the ballot. That was the man won Monserrato County. I championed the rescue mission. I led the campaign in Monserrato County. I was a campaign head for rescue mission Monserrato. October 10, we whipped George Weah and CDC in Monserrato County by 3,000 plus votes in the first round. In the runoff, we won Monserrato over 20,000 votes. When you hear, you know, sometimes we don't let to carry the radio and be making all these talks. Yet that we won the election by 20,000 plus votes. Monserrato gave that number. Monserrato County, from since 2005, nobody could beat George Weah CDC in the county until I came 2019. By the grace and blessing of the people. And in 2019, they said, oh, CDC was fair. Pascal David said they were fair with their own party. So they will not be fair in 2020. In 2019, I got 106,000 votes. In 2020, I got 208,000 votes. The highest, apart from South Joseph, in 2023, in a special election. You understand? Then they said, oh, the George Weah on the ballot, that was telling one Monserrato County. They put George Weah on the ballot against Joseph Boakai. I led the whipping of CDC and George Weah out of the mansion and out of Monserrato County in 2023, October 10 and November 14. I gave a number by 2,000 plus votes, October 10, and 20,000 vote margin in a simple majority runoff. Monserrato won CDC. We won CDC in Monserrato by 20,000 votes difference. Who led it? Who championed it? So when this CDC is talking, that is why most times I say, you have power. You have power, we'll take it from you. We don't know how to do power and maintain power. Then you say you can't back for it. There are small children talk there. CDC and George Weah have power, we'll take it from on the lap. We who know how to manage power and maintain power, then you say our power is take power, we're coming back for it. Since 2024, we can rest in our ear with. 2020 now, George Weah coming back. 2029 coming here. Our business in 2026 is to make sure the yellow machines will be deployed and fix our roads. And the yellow machines will be deployed and fix our roads. And also help with the agricultural sector in this 2026. This 2026, we want to see more prosecution so that people can either be proven guilty in the court of law, or the people can have the opportunity to prove themselves not guilty, so that their names can be clear. That's justice. We want to ensure that we're able to fight drug even more robustly in 2026. We want to ensure that fire service can be able to reach more places where there's fire, or able to prevent fire. This 2026, and by the time you get in the money, these citizens get their 2029 coming or 2029 coming. You have your 2018 to 2023. We took it from you. We don't know how to keep power. We don't know how to manage power. The thing on your life, we take it. So when the time comes for the politics for 2029, you will know, you will see it. Right now, we're governing. We are concerned about what's happening to the border. We are concerned about what's happening in the Middle East. We are concerned about how these things will affect and impact or affect our people. I'm concerned about how we can re-strategize on the work permit thing, that taking jobs from our people. These are the things I'm concerned with. And by the time you thought once you use a job on top of 2029, you are having a thing I take it for you. I get a thing and then you say you want it. You give me job, man.
What about you list a lot of things that you intend to do
as a government
in 2026?
Yes, as a government.
What about youth empowerment?
Youth empowerment is also, when we talk about TVET and we talk about job opportunity for people, reduce their supply, so to speak, of issuance of work permit for jobs that Liberians, young or old, can do, and all that kind of stuff. That's why we as government should be more focused on how we can fix this energy current problem on our hands, how we can put more water, safe drinking water in homes. Let's see these things be talking about 2029. We who in the government, we should be focused on governing and providing to our people. Then when 2029 comes, easy.
You will lead it now, act now. And the people, the future leaders probably should be thinking about what the future holds.
Yeah.
You know? And thanks ever so much for all the time, Senator. Thanks for
an extended time also.
Extended time, yeah. We're going to be here tomorrow.
Not just an extended, but pay for extended time.
Thanks ever so much for being with us today. This is the very first edition of Liberia in the Morning. We're going to be here 7:30. My name is Sarah George Stewart, and my colleague is Romeo Topan. Thanks ever so much. Bye-bye.